Now, I fully admit my footballing knowledge is not up to par with pretty much any of you watching, but I do know what Catenaccio is. I do know that it's a defensive tactic. I don't know much more about it. So we're going to take a look at a Catenaccio tactic today so I can learn a little bit more about it. Let's check it out. This one is Herrera's 5-4-1 Catenaccio. That is the tactic title. In the description of the page itself, it basically shows you the screenshot of the tactic and Herrera. I guess, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But basically the description says that Herrera is a renowned Argentinian football manager who is credited with popularizing the Catenaccio or door bolt tactic in European football during the 1960s. This highly defensive strategy centers around a strong, well-organized defense where a libero plays a key role behind the main defensive line. There's a bit more to the description. It is basically more of Herrera's implementation of the Catenaccio. It's not really how to deal with the tactic itself. So you're kind of left up to your own imagination on how to do that. But this is the tactic. This is the formation. It is a very funky formation. It says 5-4-1. Call it whatever you will. But we're going to check it out with our three teams of Liverpool, Aston Villa, and our championship side of Ipswich Town in just a minute. The tactic I will go over at the end of the video, but Premier League first. Well, so how did a defensive tactic like the Catenaccio do in the Premier League? Not good at all. Aston Villa in 10th place, 48 points. Only 48 goals for, it's defensive tactics, so I'm not expecting an attacking prowess, but Liverpool in 11th? That is insane. 46 points. I'm sure you guys could do better if you took control of this. Again, this is just a flat sim. I'm holidaying throughout the entire season. My managers and assistant managers are taking care of everything for me, but it didn't work at all so far. I will say, if we look at Aston Villa since they were on top, if you look at their domestic cup runs, FA Cup 4th round, you're out against Nottingham Forest. Okay, I can understand that. But they got to the EFL Cup final against Manchester United, losing out in extra time. And the Conference League, they actually got to the quarters. So, you can say in the EFL Cup, the Carabao Cup, that they're just using youngsters. But here, they're actually using real players, full-time players, and they still get to the quarters. So, not bad there. However, everything else was kind of... So, Premier League, really abysmal. Conference League, you get to the quarters. You get knocked out in the 4th round of the FA Cup, so not great. Runners up, though, in the Carabao Cup. It's not an awful... no, it's an awful season. It is not the worst season we've seen, though. So, clearly, this one should be interesting. If you look at the goals, 18 for Ollie Watkins, actually. Definitely down from his usual, but still not too bad. Douglas Luiz with 13 assists, 12 for Luis, Matty Cash with 10, only ones in double digits, and then 705 for Martinez. That's actually pretty good for a goalkeeper. Well, Liverpool do so much worse than Aston Villa, it's not even funny. Out in the EFL Cup 3rd round immediately to Chelsea, and then FA Cup 4th round to West Ham. Now this one really hurts my red heart, but Liverpool losing out in the Europa League final. You get to the final. I gotta get that. You get to the final, but Manchester United 6-0. That's a painful result right there. So all in all, Premier League, one of the worst seasons I have seen in the longest of times. Europa League, you get a runner-up medal. However, it's 6-0 against Manchester United. That one is going to just feed on you for a long time. FA Cup, Carabao Cup, the worst I've seen. So this is not going to look pretty at all. Goals, 18 for Salah, not bad there. 14 for Nunez, definitely about half of what he gets usually. 11 assists for Trent, and that's the only one in double digits. And then the only one in the green, Darwin Nunez, was 724. Do I cover this? The data hub looks absolutely abysmal for Aston Villa. And if we switch over to Liverpool, it actually looks better. Why did you come in 11th? Oh wait, it's because everything else sucks. They really didn't show up for the team stats. Anything in here. Fewest shots against. Liverpool are in 8th, but then dribbles made, nothing. Most tackles won. Liverpool in 6th, Aston Villa in 7th. You'd actually expect that probably from a Catenaccio type of defensive tactic. But most shots for Liverpool in 7th, and that's it. But how did a team like Ipswich Town in the Championship, who are supposed to be around 10th or 11th place, how did they do? Well, unfortunately, they're relegated handily. 22 points. 4, 10, 32, 43 goals for. I don't know what to say. And there you go. Look at all of that. You're out immediately in the EFL Cup 1st round. You're out in the FA Cup 3rd round. No, I'm sorry, no. So yeah, I mean, they're not here. All the way down, relegated handily in 24th spot. FA Cup, Carabao Cup, out in the first matches. It's not good. So I even hesitate to cover this. 12 goals for Hurst. I mean, he's in double digits, but 10 double digit there for Leif Davis in assists. And then average rating 702 for Tete Yengi, who's not even there, but 681 is the highest. And that's Leif Davis and Marcus Harness. And most tackles is the only spot that they're in fourth spot. So not too bad there, but I mean, everything else is just not even existent. So we're going to take a look at the tactic itself. As you can see, you start out with a goalkeeper in defend, a wide center back in defend, next to a libero in support, next to another wide center back in defend. Wing backs in attack and automatic attack on the left, automatic on the right. A Mazzala in attack, a ball-winning midfielder in defend, a Mazzala in attack, an attacking midfielder in support, and then an advanced forward up front in attack. A balanced mentality. In possession, you get passing directness, slightly more direct, tempo is standard, time wasting sometimes, whipped crosses, hit early crosses. In transition, regroup, counter, and distribute to the target forward. And then out of possession, low block line of engagement, a standard defensive line, and get stuck in. Trigger press is standard. So how did it do for our three teams? Absolutely abysmal. That has very little to do with the tactic itself. I will say Liverpool are not built to be a Catenaccio defensive type of team. They are built to be, you know, Ferraris going forward. So when you throw them in this type of attack or this type of a defensive tactic, it didn't work. Ipswich Town, they're not built to be as attacking as Liverpool, but I mean, look at that. Handily relegated. Aston Villa, you got to 10th place, I guess. But overall, this tactic just didn't work for these three teams. I would say take a look at like a Luton Town. See how they would do with it. And then, you know, some of the lower level teams that are expected to be kind of just really low in the table. Try those. That might work really well. I might actually try Luton Town or something like that and see how they do. But for our three teams, it didn't work. I'm sorry. But that is it for me, Stefan FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.